I see it. Class warfare, the only resort to right wing doom. It's worth it. How to talk to your right wing relatives, friends, and neighbors, and other books written by Egberto Willis. Welcome to Politics and Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. Good morning to the United States of America. Good morning to the entire world receiving our signals via the magic of El Internet, formerly known as ARPANET, and created by whom? Created by we the people. And again, we stress we the people, something that we need to centralize on, something that we've spoken about a whole lot from the inception of our country. But we the people never really meant we the people. But you know what? The elastic clause of the Constitution allowed us to really ensure that we the people means we the people, all of us, if we work towards it. But without further ado, let's go to the El Estudio with the geniuses residing there, El Senor Jacques Van Beber and the one and beautiful Mayana.
Man,
Thank
you're
you.
beautiful, Mariana. All right.
You say it like it's a surprise. He's
Wait,
like,
wait, wait.
"Oh wow, you're beautiful, Mayana."
Of course, Mayana is beautiful. You should actually see her going out there in was it Central America? Yeah, I think Guatemala is Central America or some parts of Mexico. Anyway, go ahead, guys. How you guys are doing?
We're good. We're good. We're just. I was just watching Jack, on his pad and pen. You know,
Yeah, he must be out there just writing
always,
or
always.
new. Always, anyway. But that's good, guys. That good. So what's up?
Well, what's up is your program today. The program today, good morning, Egberto.
Good morning, brother. Talk to me.
All right, all right. The program confronts a political landscape defined by cruelty, instability, and manufactured crisis. In one corner, Republicans sabotage healthcare access while insisting their failures are someone else's fault. In, in other, Donald Trump lashes out at as economic realities shatter his self-crafted myths, and looming over it all, the corporate media machine resurrects a familiar war drum narratives, this time targeting Venezuela with some manipulative fervor once used to sell the Iraq invasion. Today's show dissects the coordinated nature of these crises and lays bare the power structures that continue to exploit ordinary people at home and abroad. I mean, that's putting it right in context, Egberto.
Yeah, man, we got a
You
lot
know,
to talk about today with that, my brother. But I tell you what. But before I get there, what are your thoughts? I know you. I know, Mayana, say you've been writing some stuff down. I always like to see if you're going to mess with my show again.
okay, I'll mess with your show. You know, why
Okay.
why is America provoking Venezuela? Because American corporate elites want to get their hands and money straws into their economy and suck out the profit of their oil and mineral resources. War is about resource extraction by force. The fuel for war is the American taxpayer. Military contractors are the power, the march, and the drumbeat that leads us into war. It's the same old excuses: national security, drug trafficking, anything they can use to convince the American taxpayer as a reason to go to war. And it's the first lie told. The hidden reason of war for war is it's profitable. And that's the bottom line in war:
It's
profit.
always it's always a bottom line profit. But you know something, there are all kinds of wars, and in fact, after our independence, there's a magical thing called manifest destiny. I just gonna want to talk a
Mhm.
little bit about that before I get into Venezuela, but I must get into Venezuela and then we may get to the other things. But beforehand, want to tell you guys I missed I miss seeing you, Jack. Actually, let me tell you what happened yesterday. I had to go meet Augie for breakfast yesterday, and I was coming to the station first. I wanted to get there early so I could see you. I know Mayanna was not going to be there because hey, it was Thursday, but say hey, I can get down there and see Jack, etc., etc., etc. And then Augie called and said, like, Bert, I'm already at the restaurant in the parking lot. I'm like, dang, I did my timing wrong. So we went to that place first, and then I came out there. I love what brother Howard is doing in the racks, man. We are like uh, he's making pieces do some magic up there with those music servers. But anyway, it was great seeing the studio and checking it out for a while yesterday. Sorry I missed you, man.
That's all right.
You know, but anyhow, uh, in school we learned. Well, Tag is on the line, so let me get to Tag before Manifest Destiny. Come on in, Tag.
Good morning, Egberto. It's
Good
You
morning,
Choose
brother.
Friday.
Yes, yes.
You Choose Friday. So I have a little talk about cancer, my experience,
Okay, talk to me.
and I also wanted to say something about the Democrats who told the military this week that they don't have to break the law.
Yes.
You probably heard about that, right?
Of course. In fact, I'm in one. Even though some media folks are giving them a hard time for doing that, for not being specific, I am 100% saying they had some pelotas to do it, and I'm proud of them. Continue, brother.
Well, I had a cancerous polyp removed this year,
Mm-hmm.
and so now I've been going through the process of the treatment afterwards.
Uh huh.
All the doctors have told me that there's a 75% chance that I will not have cancer reoccur from this.
Mm-hmm.
But still, they want me to go through the radiation, the chemotherapy, and all this stuff on a 25% chance that it may come back.
Uh huh.
And I've talked to my family, everybody around me. It's just not worth it to go through the chemo and the radiation on a 25% chance of recurrence. And the other thing I told the doctor yesterday is that I don't believe that I should be taxing the healthcare system for this continuing treatment on a 25% chance. I think this is part of the problem we have with our insurance today. So
Wow.
that was kind of my rant on cancer.
Can I tell you
What
how
do you
much
think?
I agree with you? I mean, I can't
Yes,
tell
please do.
you. I can't tell you. Look, first of all, I am not the best person to talk to when it comes to healthcare because I am so depressed in the health. I shouldn't say depressed because I don't get really depressed, honestly. I am so pissed off, is what I should say, with our healthcare system that I rarely, even though I get insurance for it through my wife, I used to have to do it all, on the independent market. But when she started working with the school district, I got it through then. But I don't use it. I exercise, I eat well, I listen to the body most of the times, etc. And the other day, my daughter, who I've told you guys many times about her, sometimes she'll get on my case. And the other day, I looked at her and I said, "Let me tell you something beautiful. I like the idea of having a good quality of life. And many a times when you get into the system, your quality of life changes. Now, here you come on and you said, yes, they found a polyp. And yes, it was cancerous because there was no spreadage, etc. They said there's a good chance it won't come back. And let me tell you, and then you said, so I didn't go for radiation and I didn't go for chemotherapy. You know what's part of the story I don't think the doctor told you? That chemotherapy itself can cause other types of cancers. That radiation itself can cause other types of cancer. So you may be fighting that area that they're trying to make sure you don't have a few more cells left. But in the process of fighting that area, they're trying to make sure a lot of other cells aren't left. you know, uh, two things happen. Your quality of life for the 6 months to a year that you're going to go through that procedure, you're likely to get ill from something else, from your immune system going down to crap for because of the chemo. There's a whole lot of things. So it has to be your choice, and it has to be your your per, how you feel about it. So your explanation to me is perfect. And while a doctor may disagree with me, the good thing about it is it's your body, and you had the choice to make.
And the biggest thing of all is that I'm not going to drain the healthcare system that we have in
Yeah.
place where maybe somebody else needs something done more than I
And
do.
when we start thinking collectively like that, what much better world it will be. Tag, I am with you.
Well,
Somebody may call and tell
let
me
me
I'm
let me
full of it. Go ahead.
let me jump over to the Democrats
Yes.
warning to the military,
Yes.
which I think is very important today. My belief about this. Most people look at what was directly said to the military. I'm looking at what the Democrats were saying to the courts, to the Congress, to the American people.
Yes.
We should not be looking at going against the Constitution. None of us should be.
Right.
So that was my rant about that.
And your rant is correct, and I find it ironic that they're trying to say they should somehow penalize these military officials and CIA officials for simply stating what the United Code, the code, I forgot what it's called, the Unified
Yeah,
Code says. Okay. Uh, they are simply making statements of fact. If making a statement of fact and a statement of law gets you killed in this country, the ones who are accusing them are the ones who need to look in the mirror. Thank you very much, Tag, for your commentary, and I'm glad that you're doing very well after you removed your polyp, brother. All right,
yeah. Thanks for everything you do, Egberto. You have a great weekend, and
you
everybody
too,
else.
you too, my brother. Let's go to Ben in Deer Park. Come on in, Ben. How you doing, my brother?
Hello.
Yes, you're on,
Uh,
Ben.
I just I just caught the ending of that last caller when he was talking about chemotherapy and radiation and 25% chance, and he didn't want to take the chance or that to cure himself again or something like that
Uh
because
huh.
there was a of it coming back in 2010. I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and I went through years, and I'm still going, years of treatment, radiation, chemotherapy. Chemotherapy will make you feel like you're dying,
Hmm.
but you got to feel that that chemotherapy is killing the cancer cells. It's like burning the candle at both ends, and you're in the middle. The chemo and the radiation can kill you. It can kill your will to keep going on because it crushes you. It drains you. So you can easily want to give up, but you got to keep going. The 25% chance of it coming back, everybody has it. My doctors told me that everybody has some sort of cancer in them,
Right.
slow growing and fast growing. I mean, it can come get you at any time. That 25% chance, I don't know where they get it from. A lot of times, these doctors will use insurance data.
Exactly.
I had a stem cell transplant, and it failed in 6 months. The insurance data says you have 5 years to live. It's been 10 years, and I'm still going.
Hey, look, I'm very proud of you
I had,
going, my brother.
I had those times exactly the same things
Hmm.
in his mind because he's figuring out, I don't want to put a burden on the healthcare system that's going to come back, because there are lines of people in waiting for chemo. And so if he has it, if he can, and he has a reason to, keep going, no matter how bad it makes you feel. When you come through that, you are one stronger son of a bitch than you were before. The stuff that you can take as a human being will amaze you, and you'll come up and you'll be willing to face this stinking world if they tell you you can't have it again. You can't have it. Yeah. So.
Thank you, Ben. Ben, and wait, no, wait. I just want to first of all give you kudos for your survival, right? Number two, I also want to say that you who were willing to, I don't know what percentage of those 10 years that you were under radiation and chemo that you felt like hell, but I mean, kudos to you for resisting that. I can tell you on a personal level, I and this is just a personal thing. I have respect for what you did. I have respect for what Tag is doing. And I also have respect for what I'm doing, which is stay the hell away from healthcare as much as I can. It's a personal
I have
choice.
chosen,
Right. It's you've chosen
I
and
have
I
chosen
respect
the
your choice.
option 2 years ago to stay away.
Right. And you know, brother, I honestly respect your choice. You know, the thing about it is I have had a good life. And many of us have had a good life. If my life, and I express to my daughter and everybody else, if my life had to end in a couple of years or whatever, as long as I know I did good for humanity, I feel okay. Because you know what? Life is made up of all of us. None of us are an island. That too often we are individualists thinking that it's all about us. When we realize that when you drop dead or when a car hits you or a truck hits you or whatever, life goes on because life is for the living. When you've come to that realization, life becomes easier. And to put it bluntly, you can love on everybody. But thank you very much, Brother Ben, for your call. I mean, I love both ends of the call, both you, Tag, and you, Brother Ben. All right?
Thank you, Egberto. Good.
Thank you, sir. Let's go ahead and have John from Minneapolis. You guys are hijacking the show, but you know what? I love you. And you come first. So go ahead, but I'm going to get to Manifest Destiny and Venezuela. Come on in, John.
Yeah, that's a very interesting topic. But I wanted to talk about the war on the Constitution. And we know if Donald Trump is angry with those Democrats for making a video about people in the military owing their allegiance not to him, but the Constitution, we know that this is an incredibly important topic. He had already removed lots of people from the military that he thought would go against him. And then those that defend people when they decide not to follow an order or an illegal order have been also removed. So, you know, he is preparing us for his authoritarian regime.
Yeah.
And if we like democracy and love other Americans, you want to support these people, we need to get rid of him as soon as possible. I mean, not assassination, but you know, through the ballot. You know,
And you're
and
absolutely right.
all of the Republicans that defend him. It's indefensible. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
John, thank you. And you're absolutely right. And let me just tell you that come January 6th, especially given the spread that I'm starting to see in the polls, if all of us do our jobs, we will bring back democracy to the country. Or we'll I should say bring back democracy. We'll come closer to turning the country into a democracy. All right. It'll happen. It's we the people, and that's why you always hear me talk we the people. Johnny, come on in.
I called to bring in some levity this morning, but first I have to say that caller when he when he dropped a little cuss word there, I was laughing because that reminded me that you and Tag and that guy. Well, you actually touched on it, but the other guys they didn't bring up two things that I was expecting to hear. How about relaxation and a chocolate-filled croissant donut? That's relaxation for me.
Yes.
And you know what? And you're right, because you're telling your loved ones that with your advocacy, you may drop dead tomorrow or a year from now or get run over by a bus. But as long as you know you've done well for your humanity while you were here, that's all you need to know. That is part of relaxation, too.
Yes.
By the way, the reason I called originally,
Yes. Yes.
just before I switched over to K15 like I do from NPR and BBC, I heard the headlines that Trump administration is planning to go nationwide looking for people in nursing homes. I'm thinking, wait a minute, you guys want to get Antifa nationwide, so now you're going to go into nursing home. That generation is almost dead.
Wow. Wow. I didn't read that one.
And after, these people are a joke.
Yes, they
They're a
are. I
joke.
mean, this is
How about we dress up?
yeah.
Dress up in one of these retired post offices and put Antifa on it and let them descend on that and raid out all day and night. And we have crisis actors that we pay the Republicans have some
Johnny,
drones.
Johnny, let's do that. I like that. I like that for fun. And then let's make sure we have all the cameras out there ready to tape it, just to see the silliness. Thank you, brother. Johnny, thank you for listening.
Bye-bye.
And I am honored that you moved from BBC to NPR and you come here in time for Politics Done Right at KPFT. I'm honored. Let's go to Patty, line number 1.
Good morning, Alberto.
Good morning, Patty.
We the people are going to be the saviors. We cannot count on Congress or the courts, or it's up to us. It's our job to be informed and active. We can do it. It's been shown, and we need to take optimism from what's happening now as the tide starts turning. The courts are being dragged into doing their jobs. We need to every day call our politicians in Washington and demand that they take back their power by doing their jobs.
Can I tell you, Patty, that you made my day? I say that from the depths of my heart. You made my day. When we as citizens have that frame of mind that you just mentioned, you didn't say ask Congress to do something. You just said demand Congress to do something. You didn't say that we're waiting for others to do something. You said that we have to get off our butts and stop saying who's going to be next. The best time in my life was when I said, we watch TV and we see things happening, Patty, and we go out there and we say, somebody needs to do something about that. Somebody needs to do something about that. You pick up a mirror and you say, I am somebody. And if all of us remember that we are somebody, we can do something. Whether we do it physically, like we see somebody like Teresa Allen and Hendrickson and all these women around this area going out on the streets every Thursday, every day actually, going out to Bryan to protest Elaine Maxwell. I mean, we can take it into our hands and get it done. Folks like you, that's what we're talking about, Patty. Thank you for that statement. Anything else real quick?
Yes, it must be done with the utmost civility,
Yes.
respect for our laws and our fellow citizens, and without violence.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for your call, Patty. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Gabe, saw you yesterday. How you doing, my brother?
Yeah, that was a good breakfast yesterday.
Yes, it
Especially
was.
if you paid for it, but that's okay. But
Well,
on cancer treatment, I know people that have given up on chemo and radiation because they went through hell. But what gave them peace was using these drugs, the THC, that Abbott and Republicans are trying to keep away from people.
Mm-hmm.
And even veterans would take these drugs that gave them peace. But Abbott and the Republicans want to take it away. And also about the Uniform Code of Military Justice, I was in the military for more than 20 years. And the Uniform Code of Military Justice that tells the military about obey legal orders,
Right.
not illegal orders. And George W.'s grandfather, Prescott Bush, and robber barons in the early 1930s tried to overthrow the government. And they got some military officers to go along, but they wanted this Marine general to lead them. And the Marine general refused. And so that quashed their attempt at insurrection. Just something to think about. And right now, there's some military folks that said they're not going to go against their families, their neighbors, their friends. And they're an active military. Which
You know, Augie. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and Reagan and the Republicans gutted the active duty military with something called BART, the Basis Assessment and Realignment Committee. They shut down bases, military hospitals, and active duty units. And I remember seeing this one active duty unit. They were proud. They had high morale, but Reagan and the Republicans told them, we don't need you guys. And they also cut down the senior enlisted men, the senior sergeants, and the officers. And I was in the reserves, and when we went our 2 weeks deployment to active duty units, I had to take over active duty guys. And I wondered, where's the sergeants at? And now, when we went to Afghanistan and Iraq, we needed people, and Americans weren't going in the military. It was immigrants, 1,600 immigrants joined the active duty forces and went to Afghanistan and Iraq.
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you, I not to cut you off, but I want to get to Jimmy and others, but I get your point, and I think we have to stay the course. But anyway, let me just say, Augie, I enjoyed all those stories yesterday, man. Sometimes if people know our stories, man, how wonderful life would be. But let's talk again tomorrow. Or, well, actually, Monday. Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll talk, brother.
Okay. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. All right, let's go to brother Jimmy, my 90-something-year-old brother from another mother. What's on the topic of the day for you today, friend?
I'm jumping to Venezuela. Our country has blasted some 21 boats from Venezuela, killing over 80 people. Trump says we have to do this to stop the fentanyl from coming into our country, but fentanyl is not coming from Venezuela. So Trump doesn't have his facts right. And one woman in Venezuela said her husband told her he was going fishing. He did not return, so he was obviously killed on one of these strikes. I think
He was
it's
murdered.
horrible that they're blasting these boats, killing these people. We should be using our Navy to stop the boats and search the boats and see if they have drugs, and if they do, then arrest them.
All right.
But this is wholesale murder.
Yes, it is, Jimmy. Jimmy, I'm going to talk about that, so I'm going to go ahead and, first of all, thank you for the call, and then take Betty, because I really want to get into Manifest Destiny and Venezuela. Okay, Betty, come on in.
Good morning, Alberto. I want to
Good
talk
morning,
about
beautiful.
my judge. I'm okay. The judge I know should be not Trump's judges. The judge I know, if he's in traffic and traffic was backed up, the people were going across the grass to get on the feeder. My judge would not do that, because his job is to judge, a true judge. Trump never has anything like that. And on Abby explaining he's trying to pass or what he said, the Cubans never breathe life. The Muslims in Texas, they bring life. And Abbott and Patterson and the followers, they live in mud and water, afraid of lightning. Bye-bye. Love y'all.
Love you, girl. Thank you. Have a good one. Okay, Joni from Conroe. Then I'm going to Manifest
Good morning.
Destiny. Good morning, beautiful. How you doing?
So if they were, thank you, we're doing fine. Yeah, I was just thinking that if the Sackler family were in jail, that would prove that this administration was serious about drug issues.
Amen.
Sackler family should
Oh
be in
my
jail.
God, Joanne.
So yeah, it's ridiculous that they're saying that because Sacklers have killed more people in this country, and they are walking free because they're rich. And Manifest Destiny is like having a bicycle, a 7-year-old on a bicycle, and if nobody's around, and I want that bicycle because I'm bigger than that 7-year-old, I should go knock that 7-year-old off his bicycle, take his bicycle, and
Joanne.
say, God in heaven for giving me that bicycle because I got to take it away from that little person.
Joanne, didn't I tell all of my listeners that I know most of you are, got it all under control? Why are you taking away my subject before I get started with it, my sister? Why are you doing
This
that to
is
me?
Joni, by the way.
What's that?
Joni.
Yeah, Joni. Yeah, Joni. Sorry, said it wrong. Sorry about that. Hey, Joni, listen. Why are you messing with me like that, Joni?
I'm trying to bring it back.
Thank you, sis. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay,
Thank you.
we are going to get started now because a lot of what we're doing in around that we've done in the Caribbean, that we've done in America, that we've done in South America, Latin America, it's that magical word. Manifest Destiny. Manifest Destiny emerges in the U.S. history as a political, cultural, and economic project that cloaked expansionism in divine purpose. Like, oh, God told America that somehow we are special, while masking the violence, theft, and racial hierarchy that fueled it. In a progressive reading, it becomes clear that this ideology never simply described a nation growing westward. It justified the seizure of indigenous land, the spread of slavery, and the election of white supremacy as national doctrine. Historians describe it as the belief system, but in practice, it functioned as policy engine that hyped or shaped borders, empowered corporate interests, and left deep scars on the communities it displaced. Folks, this isn't wokeness. Well, let me back up. This is wokeness. This is being awake. This is getting awakened to what a small number of people who were formative in this country, who were formative in how we grew, etc. This had nothing to do with morals. This does have something to do with wokeness. For us to learn the reality, for us to become awakened to it. In the 19th century, American leaders claimed that the United States possessed a destiny to expand from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Political elites framed this as a natural, even moral order of things. They insisted that American institutions, private property, market capitalism, Christianity, and Anglo Saxon culture would uplift the continent. Yet, as he looks at the historical record, a critical observer recognizes that the claims market masked a far more ruthless agenda. The expansion demanded warfare against native nations, a forced relocation of entire people, and the extension of a slave based economy, right? Free labor, into new territories. When settlers moved west, they carried the weight of federal force behind them. Wokeness. Yes, it is woke to be educated, it is woke to be awakened. I am not going to be ashamed of using the word woke. Manifest Destiny also operated as an economic engine. The powerful interests, railroad, mining companies, timber syndicates, and land speculators benefited from the ideology's promise. Not you, the people, all of you that are listening to me right now that doesn't own 100,000 acres of land, that just took it. None of this was for you. They just used you as the framing. They just used you as the cog. Land speculators benefit from the ideology's promise. They use federal land grants, military protection, and political influence to carve wealth from territories seized through violence. The pattern demonstrates how national myths often serve private power, not public good. If all the riches that we took when we took this land was spread to every American in such a manner, none of us, because of the richness of this land, all of us would be able to live a prosperous life. But that's not what Manifest Destiny talked about. Manifest Destiny wasn't for you. It was never for you. Manifest Destiny was for a small, powerful elite who use things like white supremacy, slavery. They told you that you having less pigmentation, and once you're above this other thing, you know, worry about that. Don't worry about the accumulation. And we'll give you 40 acres and we'll give you 160 acres when we're moving west so that you can build on that land so that when the railroads pass through, there'll be cattle to feed us as we're. Look, it was never about you. It was always about a few. It was always about the few. They used federal land grants, military protection, and political influence to carve wealth from territories seized through violence. The pattern demonstrates how national myth often serve private power and not the public good. The rhetoric of divine mission simply smooth the gear of extraction. Remember what I always talk to you about? All that oil, all those minerals we find on public land. They pay a small royalty, but they run off with it. People don't understand how rich people are in this country. They don't get it. They don't get what these people have raped from the land. As U.S. leaders push toward the Pacific, the ideology extended into foreign policy. The Mexican American War stands as a stark example. Political leaders frame the conflict as inevitable and righteous. A progressive analysis emphasizes that the war represented a deliberate land grab justified through racialized propaganda. The United States seized half of Mexico's territory, land that included today's California, New Mexico, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, and parts of Colorado and Wyoming. That conquest reshaped the nation while generating new hierarchies of citizenship and race. So, for all of you liking to talk about the illegals, remember, most of the times the border crossed them, not the other way around. The border crossed them. Who are the illegals in California? Who are the illegals in Arizona? Who are the illegals in Texas? History is as one of the callers said, it is a B. Indigenous nations paid the heaviest price. Manifest Destiny nationalized forced removals such as a Trail of Tears, frontiers wars that lasted decades, the policies that attempted to erase indigenous governance, culture, and sovereignty. The ideology insisted that indigenous people stood in the way of American progress, reducing lives and cultures to obstacles. In reality, indigenous nations maintain sophisticated political systems, complex economies, and deep environmental knowledge. Go all the way south to Guatemala. Go to the Incas in Peru. Go to the Aztecas, the Incas, and see some of the structures these guys have built that are now covered by fauna, by flora. I mean, there were complicated technologies that we will never understand because it was beyond the bombs that we learned how to build from China. You know, the ideology insisted that indigenous people stood in the way of American progress, reducing lives and cultures to obstacles. In reality, indigenous nations maintained sophisticated political systems. Yes, they did. But you'd never know about it because you would never read about it because History is revealed by the one who was able to write about it from their perspective. In the modern era, manifest destiny continues to echo through political rhetoric when policymakers call for U.S. dominance, resource extraction, or intervention abroad, then often draw knowingly or not on the same logic that American power is inherently righteous. So, as one of our callers just spoke about, Jimmy, blowing up boats and killing people, even if it's a real fisherman, no consequences, right? Because it's righteous. We are doing it for some righteous reason. Not to say that, not to recall that even if these were drug boats, they were just fulfilling a supply, right? Because Americans love their drugs. Americans love their drugs. Demand creates supply, not the other way around. You see, the American government, I should say, like to hit supplies. It's not about supply, it's about demand. In the modern era, manifest destiny continues. It continues and that's where we're going to transition to Venezuela. But before I go to Venezuela, I want to talk about the abstraction of what we do economically. Because as we see beautiful skyscrapers and beautiful roads and beautiful gated communities that 90% of you will never be able to enter, touch, or see as you bask in the greatness of what this economic system can do while you struggle for your health care, while you struggle to live a life where you don't have to work till death. We praise. Look at all these things we built. Yes, things we built that we can never actually enjoy because it was built by us for them. Built by us for them. Understanding manifest destiny requires stripping away myth and confronting its material realities. It advanced the interests of the powerful, displaced communities who lived sustainably on the land for millennia, an entrenched system of racial hierarchy that still shape American life today. By recognizing these truths, the nation gains a clear view of its history and a better chance of building future grounded not in conquest, not in I have the bigger bomb, but in just looking at humanity for what it is, human beings wanting to exist, wanting to live, wanting to have sovereignty over a little, wanting to share what we have in common. I'm sorry, I don't want to share what we have in common. I want to live what we have in common. You know, I love the idea that I have strong Panamanian culture in me, living in the United States, being a United States citizen that can enjoy Brother Jack's culture. I forgot where you told me your family is from, that I can enjoy Mayanas culture, that can enjoy the culture of all these folks that have lived, whose folks have lived in different parts of this world. And I can go in and say, wow, I like that. It enhances me. It enhances all of us. Now, how does that apply to the rest of the world? Well, when we have these people of evil sanctioned being like Donald Trump, like many who have admitted the presidency of the United States and other countries. But beforehand, I want to break because my brother Glenn Ryan says something that I want to hit him on. He says, I didn't hear anyone complaining when Obama summarily executed U.S. citizen. I didn't hear anyone complaining when Bush was violating the Geneva Convention. As a matter of fact, Obama left him and Cheney off. I guess given his own actions, we know why. No, we don't know why. Glenn, you're absolutely wrong. I complained about what Obama did. I complained about what Biden did. I complained about what this current this current authoritarian did. Yes, I mean, but I also reminded, and I think I reminded you of this in person, Brother Glenn. And by the way, we still have our coffee to have. I reminded you of this in person. There's a difference between the president and the presidency. The presidency has the gravity of everything that makes up the American populace. And that's why the most important call today came from Patty, because Patty says, let's demand what has to get done. Let's demand it. We, the people, have to demand it. She's absolutely right. Because if we don't demand it, as even President Johnson told Martin Luther King, don't ask me to do this, make me do this. And that applies to us. We don't ask. Obama was executing the presidency of the United States. Clinton executing the presidency of the United States. Even this charlatan that we have as president executing the presidency of the United States, guided by those who he listens to. We have to make it that they have to listen to us. And we can, because our voices and our actions are more powerful than money. But we have to first accept our worth. We have to realize that that is true intrinsically. We have to realize that before we get things done. And with the next couple of minutes left, I need to bring in Venezuela. Right now, since August, the U.S. has been amassing military assets in the Caribbean, warships, bombers, and thousands of troops. This is no different than what I remember when I got a brother from Panama who was a part of the CIA. Was a part of the CIA. He called me up and he's like, "Egberto, tell your folks it's going down tonight." That was the most hearing call I got, and I couldn't get to my folks in Panama because the lines were blocked. You couldn't get into Panama. And then at midnight, I think it was, the bombs started flying. America purportedly wanted Manuel Antonio Noriega, Panama's general, Panama's leader, and they bombed the holy crap out of Chorrillo, a place that's populated by a lot of poor people who look like me, in Chorrillo, in Colon, where I am from, the Cuartel Nacional being bombed by the stealth fighter, which they used Panama's testing ground to get one man. America claimed about 1,000 dead Panamanians. The UN claimed 4,000. We know it's over 10,000 given where all these bombs fell. That's what we do when we just want to have our manifest destiny. We controlled Panama because we'll have them do as we please or else. Same in Venezuela. Venezuela's revolution didn't start out of malice. And there are a lot of Venezuelans here in Houston that fight with me and they tell me, I am from Venezuela. I know what's going on and Maduro is no good. And they're right, Maduro is no good. Maduro is no good, but Maduro is the creation of what had occurred in Venezuela caused by us. That's what it's all about. Hugo Chavez, when Hugo Chavez took over Venezuela, first of all, you got to go back before Hugo. We got to go to Carlos Andres Perez and all these guys who, at one time, when they decided that the plutocracy wasn't making good use of the natural resources of the country, and they nationalized their oil industry, which we probably should do as well. We should nationalize our oil industry because oil belongs to us all, not to a few. And it's the natural resources of the land. But they did that. America couldn't have that. When Hugo Chavez got into power, he got into power because a country like Venezuela that is sitting down on a pool of natural resources, not only oil, but gold and silver and you name it, they got it. And the people are poor. But the elite, very well off. And they sold their souls to the American oil companies, etc. And the people got niet. Hugo Chavez came in, and the poverty rate went sky down. The small businesses went sky high. You had people on the side of the roads getting subsidies to start a business and become a productive business that was self-sustaining, selling yuca, bananas, yampi, and all these things on the side of the roads as they created their small businesses that would eventually grow. Finally, redistribution of the money that belongs to us all. Something that is highly needed in America right now, because right now, like I said, our economic system moves everything to the top by design. I gave you the mathematical formula why that is by design. We can't help it. And the only way to mitigate it is some sort of redistribution through taxes. It's a mathematical reality. Now, when we go to Venezuela, so Hugo Chavez comes and he makes the changes, and we could not possibly think of a country successfully implementing an economic system where the resources of that country, while you can build a profit-based system, which we want to develop the land and move the things, but that ultimately the resources belong to the people. The oil was there. It shouldn't belong to a few, but to the many. And you don't have to have greed to manufacture success. They couldn't have that succeed. And as Hugo Chavez started to succeed, they had to put wedges, and they had to just like the Powell memo worked in the United States to have us believe things that we shouldn't believe. The Powell memo have us believe in the lies of how our economic system works by infiltrating the media, infiltrating churches, infiltrated schools, everything, which simply was meant to dumbify us, make us dumber. That's the same thing we did with Venezuela. We caused their economic crash. Then we say, you see what trying to have a Bolivarian revolution will do for you? It'll crash your economy. And then everybody believes that. Then they say, what you want to be, Venezuela or Cuba? No, we want to be America. We want to have an economic system that serves every single American, that serves that somebody like Tag doesn't have to say, I want to make sure and save care for others. That makes sure somebody like Ben, who says, I did the best I could, but now I've refrained from it. Folks, Venezuela, what we're about to do, if we don't start putting the brakes on Donald Trump. Asterian from California, welcome over. I didn't call my people out today. Forgive me. I'll call you out quickly at the end. But folks, we have to understand, when Jimmy called and said the boats are being blown up, a lot of innocent people are getting killed. This is the farce. This is a picture that they put when they want to create a reason to invade and take resources. These are the things that they do. And our media is complicit in not calling out what I say Trump, but it's not Trump. What the American plutocracy is doing right now to foment a war in Venezuela so that the resources can be acquired by our wealthy corporations on our backs. This is a farce. This is a farce. There's so much more to talk about Venezuela, but I think I have laid out the picture and tied, I hope, between manifest destiny and what we're actually now thinking we have the right to do in Venezuela, which we don't. I'm going to take Bruce real quick, and then we're going to start closing this baby out. Bruce, real quickly, my brother.
Hello.
Yeah, you're on.
Hello. Can you hear me? Yeah, you'll take this as a compliment if you do 3 to 5 minutes of research. You remind me of Jose Rizal, Rizal. I asked listeners to look that up. In the Philippines, he tried to educate the people to the abuses of the Spanish and bring about nonviolent change. And we know what happened to him. The Spanish marched him onto the fields of Balangumbay and executed him. And he wrote the famous Adios Mi Adorado poem the night before. Anyway, I'm done. Time's short. Bye.
Thank you so kindly, Bruce. All right. I didn't call out all my good people, so I'm going to do it real quickly. Lynette, thank you for being here. Johnny Davis, Asterian, Bobby, Joe Neve, Astadian, Bobby K, My good friend Glenn Ryan, Judy, Larry Gill, para ver, Terry A. Chamberlain, Gistera Alfiero, Lynn Hans Shumway. Thank you guys for being here. Love you all. Sonia Median, welcome to the program. I don't think I've seen your name before. Maybe I have, but I'm getting old. What can I say? Art Vogel Shavanzi. I don't know how to say your name, so if I bastardize it, forgive me. Lois Benson, welcome aboard. Gayla Kunis, how you doing, Gayla? I love having you here. Shadi Fultz, welcome aboard. Michael Catlett and Cindy Daly, MXX says Sharon Harris Bew. Thank you for being here on the chat. Love you guys and all the smart commentary that you guys are putting in the chat. As usual, Jane B in North Carolina is with us as well. And let's see, Joanne Marie is with us. Judith Byers, Xenia Wild. All right, Xenia Wild. Love having you here. Brenda, Garen, Shari Fultz, Jade Tudat, Cindy Daly, and of course on our other chat we have our regulars, Lita Beercat from Austin, Eric from Kingwood, Atascocita, Paul Fleming from Atlanta, Harry Denston from Missouri City, Texas. Thank you guys for being here. I want to throw it to the studio and then we'll close this baby out.
I just think that Trump wants to be a colonizer. He's like dying to be a colonizer. And he's also, I had something else, but I think he just wants to be, and he wants to start a war, basically. Like he's waiting to start a war so that nobody has the right to vote. So those are the two things I think he's trying to get done.
I think he should remember one thing, that we had voting even during World War II. So we cannot throw into the ethos that somehow a war can stop voting. We voted through the Iraq War. We voted through the Afghanistan War. We voted through the Vietnam War. We voted through World War II, Korea War, everything. We never stopped voting. We're not going to allow that to be an excuse. Hey, Jack, what's up?
Well, you need to ask me about my colon test kit.
Okay.
Around one day, but we're out of time.
Yeah, we're out of time. You did tell me about that one. We're going to talk about that. Something you didn't even ask for. Anyway, we'll talk about it. Anyway, folks, let me just say this. Thank you for listening. I really do appreciate your eyes. I really do appreciate your ears. I really do appreciate your commentary. I do appreciate your calls, whether you agree with me or not. The rest of the show is at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Write me directly at kpft@politicsdoneright.com. If you agree, disagree, I don't care. Love you all. My name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics Done Right. And you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out.